3 is my favorite number. When you see 3 ingredient recipes, you might think it's gonna be a bunch of childish experiments, but we're actually testing out some legitimate, presentable recipes today. Presentable being the operative word. The only rule is that water doesn't count as an ingredient. It's the source of life, man. We have 5 savory easy dinners and 4 delightful snacks. Let's get started. I got our first recipe from this lady. She calls it the Lazy General Tso's Girls Chicken.
Recipe, Lazy Girl Orange Chicken. Prepare a bag of breaded chicken chunks according to the package. The sauce is made from orange marmalade and barbecue sauce.
That seems pretty easy, so I have the Costco sauce, some breaded chicken, and I don't have orange marmalade, so I'm using strawberry preserve. Before you judge my decision, I just want to say, do you actually think they put real fruits in these jars?
Senator, I don't know.
First, gotta bake these nuggets in the air fryer or in the oven for 20 minutes. I do this every night, that's why my movement is so smooth. Then in the beat up non-stick, we'll put in our Japanese barbecue sauce. It probably works better than the regular one since it's got that Asian flavors in there. A heaping tablespoon of strawberry jam, and I'm gonna sneak a little bit of ketchup in. And that's not breaking any rules because water grows plants, plants grow tomatoes, tomato makes ketchup, therefore ketchup is just water, and water is the source of life, man. So put that on the stovetop to reduce. We'll stir everything to combine and let it thicken up a little bit. Okay, is it me or is this starting to look really legit? I'm gonna top it off with some scallion. You don't have to if you want to stick to the 3 ingredient thing. But I'm very much impressed. This looks straight out of a Chinese restaurant. Why does that sound like a backhanded compliment? It's literally glistening. Let's give it a taste and rate it 1 through 10.
Damn.
I'm so convinced that this is exactly what they serve at Panda Express. Even though the authenticity of preparation is the culinary equivalent of Jamie Oliver's egg fried rice, but the taste is a solid 9.2. I highly recommend you give it a try, but just a disclaimer, I'm a big fan of fake Chinese food. I don't really like authentic cuisines anyways. I like fat and sugar. This one is gonna be the classic Italian
cacio e pepe,
consisting of 00 semolina, eggs, and the cacio, which is pecorino romano. We don't have pepe, so we're just gonna skip it. Making fresh pasta over here, we've done it before on the channel. I use the simplest method possible, which is just measure out the eggs and double the weight for the flour. Maybe add some water if you want the dough to be soft. Cover up with plastic and rest for 30. This way the flour gets more hydrated and the gluten is more relaxed. Only use half of it because it's easier to manage. The dough is fighting me back a lot. I forgot when you use semolina, you need to put a little more water than usual. Now I'll fold it up like how you fold your blanket. I wouldn't know because I don't make my bed. I'm gonna cut into fettuccine width, but you can do whatever you want. You might think there's no such thing as too thick, but these are. So I'm gonna pull it with my hand to try to get it thinner, but the dough immediately sprang back. It's acting so rebellious like a unhinged teenage ungrateful daughter. Reminds me of my older sister, but I'm gonna just throw it into the pot and see what happens. Interesting. Finally, we're mixing 2 tablespoons of butter and a bunch of pecorino romano. As soon as I stabbed it, I realized it's hard as a rock. I apologize, guys. If you're actually interested in a fresh pasta recipe, we did a pretty good job in this video. You can check it out if you want. The next 3 ingredients are cheese, whole milk Greek yogurt, and self-rising flour. It's just flour and baking powder. Does that count as cheating? So 1.5 cups of self-rising flour, 1 cup of yogurt, and we just crumble these 2 things together. In the beginning, it's gonna be super sticky like that, but you just gotta keep kneading it. Eventually it's gonna catch all the sides and become a smooth and soft dough. Again, we'll cut it in half and start rolling it out. I don't feel like dealing with rebellious dough anymore, so if this dough fights me back, I'm skipping this recipe. Great, now the board is fighting me back. Everybody rebellious in this kitchen. Honestly, I'm very concerned for the flavor of this dough because it smells like Greek yogurt or sour milk. I can't imagine it tasting any good. Now it's a sheet, we'll throw it onto the pizza stone. It's been preheating at 450. Do you think my pizza stone's clean? Never mind. The heat is amplifying the sour milk smell. We'll leave it for 5 minutes for it to take shape. Meanwhile, thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's the time to encourage people that it's okay to ask for help. So I want to share my personal story. Around 2018 was the worst year of my life. I was a junior in high school and I lived an extremely rebellious and irresponsible life. After a series of poor academic decisions, I ruined my chances with college applications. So the following year during the application season, it was hard for me to see my friends turn toward their exciting new chapters in life. I felt like I got left behind. The feeling of inadequacy haunted me, and my hopeless outlook on life made any silence unbearable. That's when I realized it's wise to talk to a licensed therapist and unload some of the burden I've put on myself. Sometimes a new perspective is all you need. BetterHelp is an approachable way to start your first session of therapy. The app is easy to navigate and helps to connect you to the right therapist based on your personalized needs. You're able to choose the time and format that's the most convenient for you. Sometimes I don't feel like being on camera for an online chat, so the text or call option will be great alternatives. Even if you don't feel like it's the right fit, you have access to over 30,000 therapists that you can switch to with no additional cost. So if you think therapy might be beneficial to your mental state, click this link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/futurecanoe. You'll get a special discount off your first month of therapy if you do. I always thought pizza stones are supposed to prevent sticking. Now it's time for the last ingredient, the cheese. But it's not really a pizza if there's no sauce underneath. It's more like a cheese bread. So we gotta put some pizza sauce on it. But I don't have pizza sauce and that's breaking the rule. So there's only one solution I see. And that's not breaking any rules because water grows plants, plants grow tomatoes, tomato makes ketchup, therefore ketchup is just water and water is the source of life, man. We'll spray it all over, spread out the pizza sauce like how Nonna used to do it. Finally, a layer of cheese. This is starting to look really legit. I should take this to the consulate to get an Italian citizenship. I think if I show my roommate this without any context, he'll actually think I ordered takeout. This slice for you. I'm gonna cut myself a special piece. It's the centerpiece. Let's give it a taste. The biggest surprise for me is that after it's cooked, it's super fluffy and soft, and the sour milk yogurt smell is gone. This just tastes like a really average frozen pizza. All of a sudden, I'm starting to lose respect for frozen pizza manufacturers. The internet can pull it off with 3 ingredients. 8 out of 10. You should give it a try. For the steamed egg, we only need egg, soy sauce, and water. So only 2 ingredients pretty much. We'll measure out 2 eggs and just double that amount for water. I'm gonna add a little less than that because I want it to cook faster. I guess salt can be our 3rd ingredient then. We'll run it through a strainer to get rid of the gooey stuff. I'll cover it completely with plastic wrap. We'll start heating our steamer pot on the stove and poke 10 holes on the surface. I'm gonna cook it for about 15 minutes. Super jiggly, kinda like a ugly creme brulee. Giving it some cross cuts so the soy sauce can seep through. But honestly, at this point you can put anything on top. I've seen people put chili oil, sesame oil, or bean paste. We'll give it another shake to get the seasoning more even. We've made this before and it was a disaster. This time it's so much better. It's soft, savory, overall very comforting and easy to eat. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. My friend Victoria allegedly ate this for a month straight after getting her wisdom tooth out. Next, some cheesy Korean spicy rice cakes with string cheese, gochujang, and rice paper. When I saw this on YouTube Shorts, I thought it was such a genius recipe. So we take a piece of rice paper, dip it in water. I can't believe I used to dip this in boiling water. You guys gave me a lot of trouble for it. Put a piece of string cheese in the middle and just roll it up like a underfilled burrito. You see, that's our rice cake with a cheese filling in the middle. So now we'll take a lot of gochujang, the source of life, mix them together. Why am I holding the rice cake while whisking? But once it's combined, we'll put the rice cakes in, put it on the stove on medium heat. I mean, there's nothing raw in here. We're just trying to melt the cheese. This is starting to look like one of those legit Korean spicy rice cakes. I'm gonna top it off with some toasted sesame seeds. I didn't toast them. I feel like not only the cheese is gonna pull, the rice paper, when boiled, it pulls a lot too. I used to hate Korean rice cakes because I don't like spicy chewing gum, but I can get on board with this. That voice crack is kind of insane. The rice paper is way more tender than the traditional Korean rice cakes, and how can it be bad when it's 80% cheese? It's very gooey and satisfying. I'm gonna give it an 8.7. It's like eating cheese with a spicy sauce. You should give it a try. No more cheating, okay? We're sticking with the 3 ingredient thing. 1 cup of heavy cream. I'm gonna beat it completely by hand. Once the peak is getting stiff, we'll pour in a whole can of condensed milk. Condensed milk is so fun to play with. We'll put in half a cup of blueberries. I don't wash them because it's just dirt. I've eaten worse. Once it's mixed, we'll pour everything into a container and put it in the freezer for at least 4 hours. My freezer is unreasonably powerful, and this is surprisingly soft to scoop. When I buy ice cream from the store, I always have to microwave it a little before eating, which triggers my roommate. Look at this. Am I in Cold Stone or in my apartment? The texture is softer than normal ice cream. I kind of regret putting blueberries in, because they kind of just became hard iced balls. But for the simplicity of it, I'm gonna give it a high score of 7. This recipe is the super viral milk pudding chocolate jiggly thing. I've been looking forward to this recipe because I think we've done it before and failed miserably. Here we have some sugar, 500 milliliters of milk, and 200 grams of chocolate. The sugar was 100 grams. And then we'll add in 7 grams of agar-agar. Okay, that was way too much. I gotta fish some powder out of the liquid. They're kind of dissolving into it, so I have no idea how much I put in. Let's just put it on the heat and see what happens. Once it's mixed thoroughly and thick like gravy, I'm gonna put it into my non-stick loaf pan. It's a tiny one. Into the fridge for at least 4 hours. It should be nice, soft, jiggly like this. Okay, we need some sound effect here. Now that I'm cutting through it, I'm developing a pretty bad feeling about it. This feels harder than firm tofu. These are starting to look like raw materials from Minecraft. Do you think if I make a couple more, we can build one of those Victorian style houses in Soho? Looking much better once dusted, further proving my theory that powder can enhance any experience. Well, let's see how it tastes. The recipes are just getting easier and easier. This one, we just need 1 cup of sugar, 1 egg, and a cup of peanut butter. Okay, I have no idea why, but I promise you, you're gonna be mesmerized by the changing color and consistency of this mixture. Let me know in the comments if you did. Isn't that crazy? They all just like came together. Now on top of a perfectly sized silicone mat, we'll lay down our perfectly even sized peanut butter cookie balls. Now I'm gonna take a fork and do some of these cross patterns on top of it, just to remind you it's a peanut butter cookie, not balls of hippo sh**. Into the oven at 350 for 8 minutes. You guys gonna give me a hard time on Instagram.
What's poppin'? Brand new whip, just hopped in. I got options. I can pass it like Stockton.
Honestly, I don't think this is that outrageous. I think this is the most common type of cookie accident. At first bite, I think I just got a little chunk of pure egg white. It was kind of unpleasant. I guess the taste is overcompromised by the simplicity of it. It's so bad. But I kind of want to try the middle, the gooey part. It's actually okay. It's better. It's really good. This must be my redemption episode because we're making brigadeiro again with butter, condensed milk, and cocoa powder. A tablespoon of butter in the pan. a can of condensed milk, and half a cup of cocoa powder. Once they get thick and gooey like that, we'll put it in a container. This time I lined it with some parchment, because yes, I'm learning from my mistakes. After 2 hours, we'll take it out, cut it into small cubes. And again, I must mention to you, you cannot comment on the handling skills. But I think these are too small. I like them bigger. It's more satisfying to put it in the mouth. As you can see, I also oiled up so they're easier to manage. We'll align them in order, press them down a little bit to make it a little less intense looking. Dust it with a brand new cup of cocoa powder. I'll make sure we get a nice thick layer of it. It looks better. And the brigadeiro is done. I don't know where that piece went. Last recipe of the day, looking the most promising. So let's give it a taste and rate it 1 through 10. It's like a chewy, sweet, caramel, toffee, chocolate, nougat. It's really good, but lacking some freshness. I'm gonna try to eat it with some of that unwashed blueberries. You see, we're gonna put a couple of blueberries on top and then press it down so they're like stuffed inside, and just pop this. This is kind of life-changing. I never knew brigadeiro tastes so much better with fruits inside. The freshness and the slight acidity are the perfect complement to the brigadeiro. I think strawberries will even taste better. Am I a genius or what? Anyways, I hope some of these easy recipes will help you the next time you cook. You really don't need a lot of ingredients to make a good dish, just like you don't need a lot of things in life to be happy. It's good to pull back and keep it simple sometimes, you know? But most importantly, ketchup is basically water. Alright.